Up, Pope Leo XIV meets with officials of the Vatican Secretariat of State, encourages them for better collaboration between the Holy See and churches across the world. Also, Muslim faithful across the world are currently celebrating the Feast of Sacrifice. Here in Buea, prayer took place at the Central Mosque. We bring details in this news edition. And cultural activities have been flagged off for the coronation of the traditional ruler of Bukwango village here in Buea. His Royal Majesty Albert Jembonde will be enthroned tomorrow, Saturday. These are headlines. The details and more in the minutes right ahead. Stay tuned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Huge thanks for joining us on this last edition of Divine Mercy, a Prime for the week. I am Samailin for presentation. Let's start off in the Vatican, where Pope Leo XIV has met with officials of the Vatican Secretariat of State and invites them to never let ambition or rivalry stand in the way of serving as a community that acts as a hub between the Holy See and the Church around the world. Also, the Pope encountered the Pontifical Mission for the Protection of Minors. Bernard Asongne has the details.
Dating back to the 15th century, with the Secretariat of State standing now as the oldest body of the Roman Curia and the highest representation of Vatican diplomacy, the Holy Father Pope Leo XIV, in his address to the superiors of this department, spelling out the expression of appreciation, has thanked the Secretariat of State headed by Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin for the ongoing collaboration they have been offering him as he takes his first steps in the Petrine ministry.
It comforts me to know that I am not alone. This is not a written text, but I say it with complete sincerity. In these few weeks, it has become clear that the Pope cannot move forward alone, and that it is necessary, very necessary, to rely on the collaboration of many within the Holy See, but especially on all of you, the Secretariat of State.
With Cardinal Pietro Parolin heading this department, which harbors 246 employees from all continents of the world, the Pope reminded them of the two essential dimensions of the Secretariat of State's mission of incarnation and Catholicity.
Si tratta di una grande comunità che lavora accanto al Papa. Insieme condividiamo le domande, le difficoltà, le sfide e le speranze del popolo di Dio, presente nel mondo intero. Lo facciamo esprimendo sempre due dimensioni essenziali, l'incarnazione e la cattolicità.
Still on the same day, Pope Leo XIV received the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors, a commission which, in the restructuring of the Roman Curia, Pope Francis had elevated, which works to safeguard and prevent abuse, and which he instituted at the start of his papacy to be within the Vatican's dicastery for the doctrine of the faith. In a working session with them, the Pope reminded the Commission that it retains independence to do what is most important to help in the fight against clerical sexual abuse, and told them to report directly to him. He likewise appealed to the Commission to continue this direct communication with him in order to ensure maximum efforts are made to protect minors and the vulnerable in all respects.
In other church news, Catholic Christians worldwide are preparing for the upcoming celebration of the Solemnity of Pentecost on Sunday, June 8, 2025. Novena aimed at preparing the Christian faithful for the celebration of this great feast is currently ongoing in respective parishes, which started on Friday the 30th of May and will end on Saturday the 7th of June 2025. Reverend Father Benjamin Fon compiled the next report.
But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you. John chapter 14 verse 26. That was Jesus' promise to his apostles prior to his ascension It is on the basis of these that Christians in the Catholic world at large are preparing for the upcoming celebration of the Solemnity of Pentecost on Sunday, June 8, 2025. Novena aimed at preparing the Christian faithful for the celebration of this great feast is currently going on in the respective parishes. It has been an engaging period as some parishes have recorded a massive turnout while others a drastic reduction in the attendance. Some of the Christians of St. Martin the Porres Parish, Bokwango, shared their experiences as they look forward to the Feast of Pentecost.
As a parish, we have been preparing for this feast, and we started with our novena on the 30th of May, and today we are on the 8th day of the novena to prepare for this feast. And again, our charismatic renewal and the parish also organized a 3 days Pentecost crusade that we are on the 2nd day today. And I think that is how we as a parish we are preparing for that feast. As compared to the previous year, we had the new book for novena that is being used in the seminary. So with that, we have active participation, and the turnout is encouraging.
For the novena in 9 days, it go fine, and Christian the attend fine. We're talking for these 3 days we get Pentecost crusade as a charismatic member. We encourage all Christians to come, because for these 3 days, we want to say, may you know your gift as a Christian, may you know your gift of the Holy Spirit, because when the apostles they be gather for upper room where they be there, the way the Holy Spirit become, it give them different give them.
It is always an interesting moment when the Christians, as they look forward to receiving one of the gifts or fruits of the Holy Spirit.
For me, this Holy Spirit, I like and plenty as I don't first talk, because it comes with different gifts. It comes with the 7 gifts. We have wisdom, knowledge, understanding, counsel, fortitude, piety, and the fear of the Lord. I like and plenty because I've always been as one person where they over fear. But during this time for novena, I dey ask, may the Holy Spirit may empower me fine, so that if I want to take any decision, man, not take them with fear. I use wisdom. That wisdom we don't come for can kiwi.
Just like the apostles, we are all in the upper room, waiting for the third person of the Blessed Trinity, Veni Sancte Spiritu.
On to one of our late stories, Muslim faithful in Boya have been urged to follow the 4 pillars that every Muslim should uphold: prayer, fear of Allah, among others, guided by the teachings of both the Quran and the Bible. The call was made by the Imam of Boya Central Mosque as they joined the global community, Islamic community, to celebrate El Adha, the Feast of Sacrifice, one of the most important festivals in the Islamic calendar. The event took place today, June 6, 2025, at the Boya Central Mosque, as we hear in the following report with Nadesh Nenchungme.
On Friday morning, the Boya Central Mosque was filled with hundreds of Muslim faithfuls who turned out in their large numbers to mark the feast of El Adha. Joining them in unity were Christians from other denominations like the Catholic and Presbyterian churches, as well as the representative of the governor of the Southwest region, reflecting the spirit of religious tolerance. During his sermon, the Imam of Boya emphasized the 4 pillars that every Muslim should uphold in life: the fear of Allah, dedication to prayer, the importance of seeking wise counsel, and the spirit of generosity, guided by the teachings of the Quran and the Bible.
You should learn to give. Give and God will bless you. There is nobody who will give and become poor. In giving, you become richer. So these 4 aspects, if you educate our children to know them, they will have a sane community. As politicians, as spiritual leaders, as business people, as whatever aspect you find yourself in life, as journalists even, ask your colleagues.
Following the prayers, the symbolic sacrifice of a ram was carried out by the Imam, an act commemorating the obedience of Abraham, who was willing to sacrifice his son Ismail as a sign of his unwavering faith in Allah.
A symbolic sacrifice which was carried out by the Prophet Abraham, and so it became a legacy from then and till the day of judgment. So every 10th of the month of Zulhijjah, Muslims come out to commemorate this act by sacrificing a symbolic ram.
According to these faithful, the feast day is very significant to them as it reminds them of the sacrifice, obedience, and unity carried out by Abraham.
Staying for ages without having a son, at the time when your son is big enough to help you, they ask you to sacrifice that only lone son, and without any hesitation, he was ready to do that. So we saw in him, we bring out that character of submission, total submission to the will of Allah, just as Islam actually stands for. Then the sacrifice. It's not only about sacrificing animals or things that we're going to eat after this. It's sacrificing your pleasures, sacrificing your main desires, just to stay in the same form, just to make sure you worship Allah continuously.
It's a great day for me, joining them and celebrating with them. After the Salat, you saw, the Imam just slaughtered the ram, and then after we go around visiting, eating, visiting people, rejoicing with them and celebrating with them.
As families return to their homes to continue the celebration, they are reminded of the core message of the festival, that life is built on unwavering faith and trust in Allah.
Now, on the 7th of June annually, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, together with the World Health Organization, jointly facilitates the celebration of the World Food Safety Day globally. This day usually features sensitization programs on food safety and its implications on human health and economic development. In prelude to this event, Franklin Famukong compiled the next report, giving us details of what the event is all about and what it seeks. Take a listen.
World Food Safety Day is an annual global observance held on June 7 to highlight the critical importance of food safety for human health, economic development, and sustainable food systems. It is jointly facilitated by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations Organization and the World Health Organization. Food safety encompasses the practices and conditions necessary to ensure that food is fit for consumption and will not cause harm to the consumer.
Just as food insecurity and malnutrition are gaining pace, our ability to respond is hitting the brakes. The dramatic reduction in life-saving humanitarian funding is compounding the hunger crisis, and the prospect of a trade war will only make things worse. Ensuring a food-secure future means rallying financial resources and driving innovation. It calls for fair, transparent trade systems that ensure food can move where it's needed, especially during crises. And it requires global solidarity to build resilient, inclusive, and sustainable food systems for all.
In 2025, World Food Safety Day brings science to the center of the conversation. This year's theme is Food Safety, Science in Action. This theme focuses on the scientific processes and research-based systems in protecting food. Science plays a role at every part of the food chain, detecting contaminants and predicting outbreaks using artificial intelligence and data analytics. With the help of science, challenges which make food unsafe from farm to table, like microbial contamination, chemical residues, virus, and bacteria, have been detected and their possible threat minimized. According to recent statistics from the World Health Organization, about 600 million people fall ill annually after consuming contaminated food, while about 420,000 deaths are recorded globally due to foodborne diseases. World Food Safety Day is not merely a ceremony, but a call to action towards food security, good health, and saving of lives by preventing foodborne illnesses.
In the same light, yesterday was observed as World Environment Day. More than 400 million tons of plastic is produced every year worldwide, half of which is designed to be used only once, with just 10% being recycled. As the world observed the day on June 5 under a theme End Plastic Pollution, the United Nations Environment Program reminds stakeholders that without action, exposure to air pollution beyond safe guidelines will increase by 50% within a decade, and plastic waste flowing into aquatic ecosystems will triple by 2040. The details right ahead. Led by the United Nations Environment Program UNEP and held annually on June 5 since 1973, World Environment Day is the largest global platform for environmental public outreach and is celebrated by millions of persons across the globe. The theme for this year's edition is End Plastic Pollution, and the event comes exactly 2 months before countries meet again to continue negotiating a global treaty to end plastic pollution. Plastic pollution permeates every corner of the planet, even in our bodies, in the form of microplastics. By drawing inspiration from nature and showcasing real-world solutions, the campaign encourages individuals, organizations, industries, and governments to adopt sustainable practices that drive systemic change. Plastic production has risen exponentially in the last decades and now amounts to some 400 million tons per year, a figure set to double by 2040. Out of the 400 million, an estimated 11 million tons end up in lakes, rivers, and seas annually. However, what is most dangerous about plastic pollution is the fact that microplastics find their way into food, water, and air. It is estimated that each person on the planet consumes more than 50,000 plastic particles per year and many more if inhalation is considered. United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres sheds light in his World Environment Day message.
This World Environment Day focuses on solutions to beat plastic pollution, and rightly so. Plastic pollution is choking our planet, harming ecosystems, well-being and the climate. Plastic waste clogs rivers, pollutes the ocean and endangers wildlife. And it breaks down into smaller and smaller parts. It infiltrates every corner of Earth, from the top of Mount Everest to the depths of the ocean, from human brains to human breast milk. Yet there is a movement for urgent change. We are seeing mounting public engagement, steps towards reusability and greater accountability, and policies to reduce single-use plastics and improve waste management. But we must go further, faster. In 2 months, countries will come together to hammer out a new global treaty to end plastic pollution. We need an ambitious, credible and just agreement this year, one that covers the life cycle of plastic through the perspective of circular economies, that responds to the needs of communities, that aligns with broader environmental goals, the Sustainable Development Goals and beyond, and that is implemented fast and in full. I urge negotiators to return to talks in August, determined to build a common path through their differences and deliver the treaty our world needs. Together, let's end the scourge of plastic pollution and build a better future for us all. Thank you.
Nonetheless, discarded or burned, single-use plastic harms human health and biodiversity, which pollutes every ecosystem from mountain tops to ocean floor. With available science and solutions to tackle the problem, governments, companies and other stakeholders must scale up and speed actions to solve this crisis. Now let's talk about culture. Sporting and socio-cultural activities kick-started the coronation ceremony of His Royal Majesty Abanjem Bonde as the traditional ruler of Membia Bokwango village that will take place Saturday 7th of June 2025. A mini mountain race, football and traditional displays characterized day one of the coronation ceremony. Our reporter Aloysius Leke was in Membia Bokwanga today and files on the following report.
In a build-up of activities towards the coronation of J. Bonde Albert as the traditional ruler of Membia Bukwango, Saturday, June 7, 2025, socio-cultural activities will vibrate the ancestors and inhabitants of Membia Bukwango from Friday 6th to Saturday 7th of June 2025. The population, Friday 6th of June, woke up with a marathon race in line with the coronation where athletes from within and without, from children's category to the veteran, took part. The president of the organizing committee, J. Simon Dive, gives us the rundown of activities planned for day one and says it's been a success.
So far, the occasion is has well repassed. You see, whatever we put in place concerning this event went well. The athletes came back healthy. Everything went well. Today, so this race was just like a kickstarter of the numerous activities that will follow the coronation. And as you can see, for now the race is over. Now we are heading to the field for the gala match, football match. Tomorrow, later in the evening, we'll have cultural manifestation, followed tomorrow in the morning, right up to the end, the coronation.
The athletes from Sports Academy and single category who were victorious during the marathon race says it was hitch-free and thank the chief for this initiative.
This morning, this race we play from Bukwango here, and Nami and found the first for the veteran side. So I did thank everybody who participated for the race. As you can see, this race work out fine. All the organizers, they do everything possible, say everything work out fine.
This is a Southwest Club, Southwest Athletic Club of Buea. In fact, our aim is to train the young athletes and those other athletes who have been running the mountain race. They are the ones who are pushing these young athletes forward. And so we don't relate our efforts. We are very happy today because we don't relate our effort. We train 3 times a week. Yeah, some people think that the training session is just a waste of time. But these are the results now. You can see in front of me and behind me. In front you see all the trophies. And behind you see my runners. Those who have done the race and they have come victorious.
The only thing I can say is that it's about determination and training. That's all I can say. And I wish the chief long life and strength.
His Royal Majesty J. Bonde Albert, who will be coronated tomorrow as the traditional ruler of Membia Bukwango, which throne has been vacant for a long while, says there is a lot of rebuilding to be done.
With the mobilization of the village, they are appropriating of the event because a coronation yet is one person, but the coronation is a village issue. And I'm happy that the entire village is fully mobilized to show to the world the true spirit of who we are as a people who are loving, who are peaceful, and who respect the authority of the state. And we intend to keep that momentum to the end of the coronation, but not only after, before or during the coronation, but also after. We'll continue to build. There are some things we have to build back better. There are some things we need to begin from scratch. There are other things that we have never done before that we think that as one people with one spirit, we should be able to do.
All roads leads to Bukwango, Membia, tomorrow Saturday, June 7th, 2025, to witness history as a new king is taking over a village with light, water and other challenges with hope for a better future ahead.
Thank you, Aloysius, for that report. That takes us to our foreign page. Zambia is mourning the death of their President Edgar Lungu, who passed away on Thursday at the age of 68. Lungu served as Zambia's 6th president from 2015 to 2021, a period marked by major infrastructural projects. Plus, in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood, residents are taking stock of President Trump's latest travel ban, which bans Haitians and people from 11 other countries from entering the United States. The ban takes effect from Monday, as we hear in the following compilation by Wundo Magdalene.
Zambia's former president Edgar Lungu's time in office was often controversial. A former justice and defense minister, he became president in 2015 after Michael Sata died in office. Opponents such as Hakainde Hichilema, who later beat Lungu at the polls in 2021, was arrested and charged with trying to overthrow the government. In 2017, Parliament suspended 48 opposition politicians for boycotting Lungu's speech. Later, Lungu invoked emergency powers to deal with what he said were acts of sabotage by his political opponents after fire destroyed the country's largest market in the capital.
All of this tends to point to somebody who is determined to consolidate power at any cost and somebody who will not tolerate any kind of criticism.
After losing the 2021 election to Hakainde Hichilema, Lungu joined the opposition and was later accused of corruption, an accusation supporters believed was part of a government campaign to target and intimidate political opponents. Edgar Lungu had his critics who said he ruined the economy, but some Zambians will remember him for improving infrastructure such as schools, roads and airports. To them, he was a humble, God-fearing family man who rose up the ranks and became Zambia's 6th democratically elected president. Meanwhile, Burundians are voting the country's first legislative election since 2020, when President Evariste Edshamiru came to office. They are choosing lawmakers to serve on the 123-seat National Assembly, the lower house of parliament. Most members are directly elected via party lists, while the rest are co-opted in order to meet gender and ethnic quotas. The vote that includes local elections is widely seen as a test of leadership. President Evariste's National Council for the Defense of Democracy Forces secured a supermajority in the 2020 polls. While he is being praised for gradually ending years of isolation under his predecessor's chaotic and bloody rule, the country's human rights records remains poor. There has been ongoing reports of repression against journalists, activists and opposition figures. The vote is being closely watched both locally and internationally as a test of Burundi's commitment to political reform and democratic governance. And in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood, residents are taking stock of President Trump's latest ban, which bars Haitians and people from 11 other countries from entering the United States. Haitian immigrant Marcel says it will close a door on people in desperate need of help.
Haiti right now has a problem of insecurity. The country is ours, we can't give up on it. However, because gangs control the country, everyone's life is at risk. That's why people who have the opportunity come to the US to be safe.
Caribbean island has been ruled by violent gangs since the assassination of President Moise in 2021. Residents now face deep economic and food insecurity.
It would be better if Donald Trump helped the country. These decisions are not good. Many people need help. The country can recover because Haitians are strong. And we have a great history. Trump will only stay for 4 years.
Members of the Haitian Transitional Presidential Council have not yet responded to the travel ban. Meanwhile, 8 groups have warned that the ban will impact their work.
That foreign news brings us to the end of this edition of Divine Mercy Prime. Before we pull curtains on this edition, a reminder of our top stories. In this newscast, Pope Leo XIV meets with officials of the Vatican Secretariat of State, encourages them for better collaboration between the Holy See and churches across the world. Muslim faithful across the world are currently celebrating the Feast of Sacrifice. Here in Buea, prayer took place at the Grand Central Mosque. Plus, cultural activities have been flagged off for the coronation of the traditional ruler of Bukwango village here in Buea. His Royal Majesty Albert J. Mbonde will be enthroned tomorrow, Saturday, June 7, 2025. I have been Samailin for a presentation. Thanking you all for viewing. Do stay tuned to more programs coming up tonight on Divine Mercy Radio Television. Up next is Mountain Echo, and once more, thank you for staying with us throughout the week. On Monday, we'll be back with much more news at 7 p.m. and of course 8 a.m. in the morning. Have a blessed day.